Hey there, welcome back to Owl Dragon Adventures. I'm Scott Kegler.
And I'm Rob MacPherson.
And this is our best of 2022. So this is just a quick rundown of our favorite games each, our top 5 of games new to 2022. So not just new to us, but truly games that were published this year that came out. So I'm just going to run through this list. We'll put up some pics on the screen here as well of, we're not going to set up all the games. This is just a quick hit.
Yep. So we'll just go through our top 5s. And if you want to see our full top 10s, we've been doing them on our TikTok channel. So you can I'll put the tags to the different channels down below and you can take a look there. But yeah, for our top 5.
Make sure to put your list as well if you can
absolutely.
In the comments section.
Yeah. So I guess I'll kick it off with my number 5 is going to be Planet Unknown. So this is by Adam's Apple Games.
Yes.
And it's a polyomino-based game where you're working on filling up your planet and terraforming it, kind of. But my favorite part about it, I do like polyomino puzzles. My favorite part about it, though, is that you get the tech tree that goes along with it. So it really, really just elevates it above just a standard polyomino game.
And
I think it's really clever.
Rovers, too.
Oh, yeah, and you get to drive your rovers around. And then the thing that everyone raves about, which is cool, but I think the tech tree is much cooler, is the Lazy Susan, which is the part selection. But, I'm sorry, the tech tree is cooler.
Yeah, Lazy Susan's a great gimmick.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a gimmick that works too. So
absolutely, great game. So awesome pick. Yeah. My number 5 is also a very fun game, lighter game. This year was Keep the Heroes Out. Came out later this year, fulfilled later this year, by Brew Games. Brew Games. I always say it wrong, so I apologize. But Keep the Heroes Out is a fun tower defense hand management game where the flip is you are playing the monsters in a dungeon, and these obnoxious heroes are coming in and trying to
steal your treasure,
steal the treasure and raid it and kill you innocent skeletons and ratlings and all these other things. I absolutely love it. As I posted in our TikTok video, I think it gives Root a run for its money on Cutest Meeples.
Yes.
And I just think it's a fun game. It has not a campaign, but these fun little scenarios to go through. Been playing it with adult groups, playing with my kids. It's a lot of fun. Excellent game. Yeah, no,
I think that's a really solid game. And it's kind of surprising because it is a crisis management game, but it's one we don't mind as much. Although I think that I'm a little bit more strict on it. I don't like it above the easiest level because I think it becomes too crisis management at that point and not enough puzzly.
I think it's fun and light, and I'm just enjoying the heck out of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm. Cool. So my number 4 game is a nice small game that just came out this year. It's going to be Stars of Icarius. So Stars of Icarius is Gloomhaven in space. It's got space exploration, it's got world exploration, and it's got the best part, which is space combat. And it's really, really good space combat. So something it's got going for it over a Gloomhaven type game is instead of a card management for exhaustion, it's a dice management puzzle, dice mitigation, everything. So you assign dice to do different actions. And I just like that a lot more personally. The space combat's super strong. I like the world exploration a lot. It's heavy narrative, pick your path. I do have a few nitpicks about it that I think could be better, but it's definitely one of my favorite games. We've gotten through about a third of it in terms of the campaign. We stalled out on it right now just because it's a beast of a game.
Right.
I'm probably going to start playing it solo side by side with our campaign though. So
right. Yeah, and we have a lot of those beast games.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Good pick, fun game. I think you definitely liked it more. It didn't end up on my list. My next pick is actually Endless Winter, Paleo Americans. One of the most fun 2022 worker placement games that we've played so far. And I really just love that weight class of worker placement that definitely takes a secondary or even a tertiary mechanic and throws it in there well with the worker placement. And that deck building in that one is just a lot of fun. Plays really well at 2-player for worker placement, which is also a big ask for me.
The base game alone has 4 different puzzles really to go along with worker placement. It's the deck build, it's set collection,
area control,
and it's I don't know what I would call the monolith puzzle.
It's just a puzzle. It's fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just a lot going on, and there's it seems to be a lot of strategies, none of which we've mastered apparently because our scores something we're missing because we are abysmal.
I'm going to bleep out these numbers.
Yeah, we're just horrible numbers compared to what people are scoring online. So there's either something we're doing wrong or we're having a lot of fun being really bad at the game.
Yeah. So we're either doing something wrong or you're all cheating.
Yeah, either one. We're probably doing something wrong.
Yeah, because it does flip over to the 100 side, and we've yet to do that.
Yeah. But that's my pick for number 4 is Endless Winter, Paleo Americans.
So number 3 pick is something you haven't heard before. It's going to be Endless Winter, Paleo Americans. So I won't talk about it again. But yes, that's my number 3. So I love it.
And that was a late entrant for the year, too.
Yeah, I only picked that up right before PAX. It was right before PAX because it was one I was going to get at PAX, and then you saw it at the local game store, and I drove down immediately and spent $120 on it.
It's good.
And everything.
It's very good.
Play the expansions.
Yeah, absolutely. We haven't really played any.
None of the expansions.
We've technically put some into play, but have not used them.
Accurate. But the cave painting. I got to put the cave painting next.
So a lot of fun. Definitely check it out.
Or draw some pictures.
My number 3 is Orichalcum. I've heard it said like 3 different ways, but I know it's like Orichalcu too because it's originally a French game, I believe.
Oh.
That Panasaurus has published in the U.S. now. I got to teach it a lot at PAX Unplugged. Absolutely fell in love with the game. Got a copy of it and played it a bunch. I think it's one of the more unique games I played this year. It does what I love in board games, which the mechanics relatively easy to teach. Doesn't take a lot, but the strategy is much more dense than the game. Yeah. And just a lot of fun that it's an objective win and not necessarily the full point salad. There's a nice tug of war mechanic happening with the Titans on the board as you're all trying to build out your area first. So again, similar to like Endless Winter, where there's one thing happening, there's a draft happening, but then we all have this cool puzzle as well as building and getting our own little engine working and killing monsters. Which is always fun.
I'm staying quiet on this one because I haven't played it yet.
It's a blast. So that's Orichalcum, my number 3.
Awesome. So my number 2 is going to be Burn Cycle by Chip Theory Games. This one I pre-ordered late. Another light game. It's one I pre-ordered late last year, and I got my copy in February. And I have tabled that. I think that's like my 3rd most tabled game this year, between solo and playing with multiplayer. It is an awesome stealth-based dungeon crawl. Corporate crawl, where you're crawling through corporate offices of your human overlords as you play as the robot resistance. It's got 2 different puzzles going on. It's got the stealth puzzle, but it's also got your hacking into it. So you got a resource management, resource collection game going on as well. I have all of the upgrades for it, and I have all of the upgrades for the second Kickstarter that went forward coming from that too. It's just, I love Chip Theory Games, but it is just such a solid title. I just discovered the campaign mode of it, which we're actually going to be kicking off in the near future, which should be a lot of fun. So to keep an eye out on the channel for that one. But if you like stealth type games, which I know there's not a huge amount of them in the board game industry. So if you just like them like video games and everything, definitely recommend checking out Burn Cycle.
Yeah, I really like Burn Cycle. A lot of fun. So much that I got a copy of recently that I didn't need, but I bought it anyways.
Welcome to my life.
Yeah. But it is a good soloable game. So.
Yeah.
Excellent choice. My number 2 is First Rat. First Rat came out at Gen Con, or just before Gen Con was released this year.
It was just before Gen Con.
I had already pre-ordered a copy and it had a very frustrating story with all that. Eventually got my copy.
Don't get him into it.
In October, I finally got my copy.
Yep.
And really fun game where you are rats in a junkyard trying to build spaceships to get to the moon because you believe it's made of cheese. And it is a delightful kind of...
That's the best part.
You're
striving to be a ratronaut.
Ratronauts. But I really loved it. It's a bit of like a rondel worker placement as you're having to... It's an interesting puzzle as you're either moving one or multiple of your rats as long as they all end on the same location on the board.
They took Chutes and Ladders and made it a good game.
Yeah, it's really fun. Yeah. I love the resource gathering and trying to figure out the puzzle of like how do I efficiently build this and get all my parts to my rocket.
And there's so many different paths to victory because there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different victory
categories. Yeah, of like things you can get first, second, third place in.
Yeah.
Very fun game. Plays really well at multiple player counts. It's solo as well, which that's the big post-pandemic thing is solo. Fun game. It's a Euro game that is very light. Yeah. And that's kind of a nice place to start someone off into the hobby.
I'm actually shocked that it didn't make my top 10 list of 2022. I love the game.
Yeah, and you got to you taught it at
I taught it at PAX U at the
Board and Brew.
Board and Brew. Yep. So
a lot of fun.
That was fun. Yep. Cool. So
number 1.
My number 1. So my number 1 game of 2022 is actually spoilers, but go ahead and watch my top 10 of all time right now. It is my number 1 game of all time as well, which is gonna be Wonderland's War. So this one I had been eyeing when it was right after when it was still in the Pledge Manager and available, and I was like, nah, I'm not going to spend the money. And then the Pledge Manager closed, and I immediately had FOMO. And so the second that it came out at a friendly local game store, they set aside a copy for me because I messaged them, and I drove down immediately and picked it up. And absolutely no regrets. It's a bag building game, which I love bag building games. It's got the deluxified components, but it's a bag building game with a rondelle style of choosing the
actions,
things that
right?
the actions which you can do, and then it's an area control. But one of the coolest parts about it for me is that you don't have to really focus on just the area control, because there's quest cards that you can use as secondary victory paths. And I really like games where you have multiple paths to victory, and I especially like games where you have sneaky paths to victory, where it's like, oh, you're really far behind. I'm like, yes, but here's my 30 more points.
Right.
So that one is just such a solid title. I've tabled it so many times this year. I'm going to be painting all the miniatures for it. I just absolutely adore it.
Good pick. A lot of fun. My number one is actually a game that also eked into my top 10 for the of all time right now, which was in our video for that. And it's actually one of the lightest games on my list, but I still love
one of the heaviest games on your list.
Yeah, it's physically one of the heaviest games, but it's a very light game, but it just does what I love so much in this hobby, which it's the table presence, and it makes people kind of go like ooh and ah over this game as you're playing it, and that is Foundations of Rome. Absolutely adore Foundations of Rome. We just played it yesterday, actually, with somebody new to it as well, who actually is just kind of seeing how much of the hobby there is too. Right. A friend of ours who's played a lot of games, but is always kind of like just catching up with the designer side of it, and was like, he's like, holy cow, like this, like the table presence of that game, the activity of being like, let me drop these huge buildings from my own player tray. All of it just does it kind of like a Chip Theory, where it's like this just really bespoke experience of a board game. We're like, holy cow. But at the end of the day, you're just playing this simple polyomino game.
Someday he's going to let me play with the Monuments expansion again.
Someday. But it's absolute blast. Love the game. I know that the big joke with that one is the price point, but probably played it at least.
Yeah. And you can get the base game version of it, which doesn't come with the metal coins, and it still comes with it doesn't come with the monuments, but it still comes with a 3D version of everything. It's still a really, really good game for $150, which is not bad for the
amount of plastic you're getting too.
Exactly. So it's still a bespoke game, but like it's not. Games are expensive now, especially with supply chain, so it's not that much more.
Well, I mean, yeah, look at the amount of like plastic you're getting, and like everyone was complaining was Heroescape this year with like how much. I mean, it's like that's kind of where we're at, unfortunately, right now.
Yep.
But like, and you could do it. It could be a simpler polyomino game with cardboard things. It wouldn't have that wow factor when you're walking by the table.
I mean, right now with the amount that we've played your copy, I'd say that we're down to about $30.
$30 an hour
for you.
Hopefully not that bad, but
no, I think that's actually about right, because we played it about 10 times. It's about an hour a game.
I think I played it more than that.
Have you played it?
Yeah, because I've played it on. I've played with Sean and Greg too.
Oh, okay, all right.
So
cool. So you're down to like $27 an hour.
It's getting there. But it's a game I will always table that one if I have time. It's fun. Like we were joking last night. We're just like. And that was the problem with this year, right? It was 2022. There was so many really good games that came out.
I've got my full list in front of me, and there are. Let me see. There's games that I'm surprised that didn't hit the top 10. Mine, First Rat didn't hit the top 10, but which I'm shocked about. Long Shot the Dice Game, Call to Adventure, Epic Origins, Lacrimosa. Gilded Merchant Explorers, actually, which was a surprise to me that I liked that so much.
Yeah, that came in and that almost cracked my top 10.
Yeah, so I mean, like, there's just there's a ton of games that hit. Oh, geez, there's more.
But
yeah, I'm not going to list them all out, obviously.
So it's just this was a crazy year, and we were joking about that yesterday, where we did like a crazy. We both had vacation this week with the holidays, and this year was just weird. Like, I'd be in the mood to play this or this, and all the games we're asking about are like 2022 games,
right?
It just was an awesome embarrassment of riches, as it were. Had an awesome time playing games this year. Had an awesome time at conventions with everyone. So thank you to all the publishers of these games that put them out, and for everyone that's playing them with us at these events and at our table.
Absolutely.
So definitely let us know about your favorite games of the year.
Yeah, I'd love to see all your lists.
Absolutely. And if you love games as much as we do, I ask that you go ahead and subscribe to the channel as we talk more and more about board games and this hobby. And with that, we wish you good luck with all of your future board game adventures.
And thank you for joining us on ours.